Welcome students, I am Ravi Shankar, and in this video let us continue the previous one. In the last video I have told you about the motional EMF from Lorentz force. There are two methods by which we can able to get the motional EMF. Already we have studied about the motional EMF from Lorentz force in our previous video, and in this video let us go on with the motional EMF from Faraday's law, and from that we will prove what is the energy conservation, or I can prove the work done in order to move the conductor is producing an induced EMF which develops the heat energy. So the mechanical work done developed as well as the heat energy developed are considered to be equal. That we are calling it out as the energy conservation. That we will be proving it in the second stage. First of all, we are going to obtain an expression for the motional EMF from Faraday's law. Here also what I am going to consider is, I am considering an uniform magnetic field, and that uniform magnetic field is acting perpendicular to the plane of the paper or perpendicular to the plane of the board and acting in the inward direction, which was being represented by what? Which was being represented by drawing this crosses. So by drawing the crosses, we can say that the uniform magnetic field B is acting perpendicular to the plane and also acting in the inward direction. Now, inside this, I am placing a loop. See, the loop that I am placing is an closed conductor or a closed loop, and let us consider that closed loop as P, Q, or S. And this loop is being placed in such a way that part of the loop is inside the magnetic field B and a small part is considered to be kept outside. Now what I am going to do, I am going to move this loop towards right with a velocity V. When I am moving this loop towards right, what happens when I am moving this loop towards right? Then the end QR will also move towards the right. So automatically the area of the loop inside the magnetic field decreases. When the area of the magnetic field decreases, then the flux lines that is passing through that area will also decreases. That is, there is a change in magnetic flux. Because of that change in magnetic flux, what will happen? According to Faraday's law, an EMF will be developed. That EMF developed will be, according to Lenz's law, in the opposite side direction. You have to calculate what is that EMF that was being developed due to the change in area. That is the concept. That is how you can able to get motional EMF from the Faraday's law. So let us write a small description for this diagram. So first of all, you consider what? You consider a rectangular loop or a rectangular conducting loop of width. Let us consider the width of the conducting loop as L. So this length, this is the width. This width, let us take it out as L. Placed inside what? Placed in a uniform magnetic field. Placed in a uniform magnetic field. And that uniform magnetic field is B. How it is acting? Acting perpendicular to paper or acting perpendicular to the plane and also acting inwards and inwards. So this is a small description regarding what? Acting inwards, small description regarding the diagram. Then what happens? The loop is placed in such a way that a part of the loop is inside the magnetic field and another part is outside. So let us take like this. See, a part of the loop is inside the magnetic field, while the remaining is outside, while the remaining part is what? Remaining part is outside the magnetic field. So I am writing outside the magnetic field B. Now what I am going to do, I am going to pull that loop towards right with the velocity v. So the next one, you write when the loop is pulled, when the loop is pulled, where you are pulling, pulled towards right, pulled towards right. When you are pulling, with what velocity it is moving, pulled towards right with a velocity, with the velocity v, then what happens? Then see, when it is pulled outside, the area of the loop inside the magnetic field decreases. Then area of the loop, inside magnetic field, inside the magnetic field B decreases. So when the area of the loop inside the magnetic field decreases, automatically what will happen? So the magnetic flux linked with the loop decreases. So magnetic flux linked with the loop decreases, or we can say magnetic flux decreases. So due to the change in magnetic flux, what happens? According to Faraday law, an EMF or current is being flowing or induced in the loop. But in what direction? According to Lenz's law, the direction of the current or the EMF induces opposite to the direction in which the flux is changing or in which the loop is moving. So we can say flux decreases. So I can say according to Faraday's laws, according to the Faraday's laws, what happens? According to Faraday's law, an electric current is induced. Electric current is induced. In the direction law is induced in the loop, which flow in the direction, which is, or I can write, which flow in a direction, opposite to what? Opposite to the direction in which the flux changes, or opposite to the direction of the loop's pull. See, the direction in which loops pull is towards right, means then the current produced, the induced current or the induced EMF developed is in what direction? Is from right to left. Okay. Now, after pulling, okay, now let us consider like this. See, when you are taking after, let us take like this. After pulling, the length of the loop that is inside the magnetic field, let us consider it as x. So after pulling, the length of the loop inside the magnetic field, I am taking it as x. So let x be the length of the loop, because width of the loop is L. So let x be the length of the loop, still inside the magnetic field, B. Now you calculate the area of the loop that is now available inside. So area of the loop is equal to length into breadth. The width is considered to be L and the length is considered to be x. Therefore, the area or change in area, I am writing it as how much? The area available is taken to be L into x. So if so, what is the flux linked with that area? You calculate. Therefore, flux linked with the area is equal to flux linked with the area. So the flux linked with the area we are writing in general as phi or phi b, given by the formula closed integral of b into dA or b vector dot dA vector, which is equal to closed integral or integral of b into dA into cos theta. See, when I am integrating this, I will be able to get b into the closed integral of b into a into cos theta. See, since theta is equal to 0, cos theta equal to 1. Why we are saying theta equal to 0? What is theta? Theta is the angle between the normal drawn to the area and the magnetic field. So the normal drawn to the area and the magnetic field are acting parallel to each other. So theta becomes 0. So cos 0 becomes 1. So I can get the flux available phi B is equal to B into A. But what is A? A is L into X. So I can get the equation as B into L into X. So we have calculated the flux linked with the loop due to change in area. When the loop is being pulled out, what is the area or what is the flux available? Therefore, the flux available is given by the formula phi B is equal to B into L into X. Let us take this as equation number 1. P into L into X. Now, what is the value of EMF induced? According to the Faraday's law, the magnitude of the EMF induced is given by the rate of change of magnetic flux. So we know that the change in flux causes EMF. Change in flux with the time. Change in flux with the time induces what? Induces EMF or current. We can say EMF. Therefore, according to that, the formula EMF is equal to d phi divided by dt. Phi, here we are writing it as B. If you are considering with the direction, we have to put a negative sign. But in your book, they have calculated only the magnitude. So how I can write d divided by dt of what is phi B? Phi B is B into L into X. Here, the value of the magnetic field B and the length of the conductor L are considered to be what? Are considered to be constants or constant. So taking that out, we can write EMF is equal to B into L into dx by dt. As we know, but dx divided by dt is rate of change of displacement given as what? Given as velocity. If so, then we can write this equation for EMF as EMF induced E is equal to B into L into V. The same formula that we got as we got in the Lorentz method. So the EMF induced is called to be B into L into V. This EMF is called as or is known as motional EMF. This EMF, we are calling it out as motional EMF since this was developed due to the motion of the loop. Developed due to the motion of the loop by changing the area. Motion of the loop by changing what? By changing area. Okay, if you are taking the loop is having and resistance of R ohms, then what is the value of current? So I can say if R is considered to be, if capital R is the resistance of the loop, if capital R is the resistance of the loop, then what we can say, then the current I is equal to EMF divided by resistance. So the formula will be BLV divided by what? BLV divided by R. And according to Lenz's law, the direction of the current is, you can say the direction of the current is flowing in clockwise direction. Flowing in what direction? Flowing in clockwise direction. This we are calling it as the motional EMF got from the Faraday's equation. Okay. See, in this part we are having a second one. What does that second one means? We have to say or we have to prove the energy in pulling the loop and the energy that was being developed, that is the electrical energy. Pulling the loop is considered to be what? Pulling the loop is mechanical energy. That mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. That electrical energy developed is given out in the form of heat energy in the loop. So the mechanical energy developed and the heat energy developed are found to be equal. That I have to prove. That we are saying it as energy conservation. I have to say it out as energy conservation. See, before going with this energy conservation, I am explaining it how we can able to define or how we can able to explain. See, I am having this uniform magnetic field acting perpendicular to the plane of the paper and inwards, which are represented by what? Represented by crosses. Okay, now inside this uniform magnetic field, I am taking it as B, perpendicular to what? Perpendicular to plane and acting in what direction? Acting in the inward direction. Now I am considering a loop inside this. Let us consider the loop as P, Q or S placed in such a way that part of the loop is inside the magnetic field and the remaining part is outside. Now I am applying an external force F so that I can pull the loop outside, because when this loop is placed inside, on this loop you will be able to get the magnetic force. So against that magnetic force, I have to apply an external force F so that I can pull that loop outside, and if it is pulled outside, it is moving with a velocity V. If that is the case, what is the mechanical work done? Are you able to understand? See, I am considering an uniform magnetic field, the same concept what we have considered in the previous case. I have considered a uniform magnetic field acting perpendicular to the plane of the paper and inwards. Inside this, I have given a loop, a closed loop of width L, of area A, whatever may be. Now, what I am going to do? I am going to pull that loop towards right with the help of an external force, because when the loop is placed inside the magnetic field, the magnetic force will be developed while in motion. So, which is given as B into I into L into sin theta. Okay, that we can see it in later. Because of motion, a force will be developed called to be magnetic force. Against that magnetic force, I have to pull that loop so that a mechanical work is said to be done on the loop to make it to move. So, what is the mechanical work done on the loop? So, first of all, let us calculate that. The mechanical work done on the loop, mechanical work done on the loop to pull it outside, to pull it out with velocity V, with velocity V is equal to, see, what is the general formula for work done? General formula for work done is force into displacement, isn't it? F into dx. See, when I am considering the rate of doing work, what is rate of doing work? Rate of doing work, we am saying it as power. Work done divided by time, that is rate of doing work. So power is work done, F into dx or F vector dot ds vector, okay, let us write like this, divided by time. I am taking the time as dt. Now what I can able to get then? Dx by dt can be written as velocity. So power can be written as F vector dot v vector. So power will be, when I am taking the magnitude, I can write P into V into cos theta. What is this theta? This theta, sorry, not V, F into V into cos theta. Here, theta is equal to 0 because the direction of the velocity is along the same direction of the force. So since theta is 0, cos theta is equal to 1. Therefore, the power available, P is equal to F into V. I am taking this as equation number 1. First of all, I am going to calculate this power by considering the deflecting force that is available inside the magnetic field on the conductor. You see, when you are moving or when you are pulling the loop, towards out, then this loop while moving outside develops a magnetic force inside. That magnetic force, we are calling it out as a deflecting force. So we are saying deflecting force acting on the segments of the loop or acting on the segments of the loop. Segments of the loop. Let us consider them be F1, F2 and F3. So where F1 is acting? F1 is acting in this segment in this direction. So on this segment PQ, F2 is acting perpendicularly. And on this segment RS, F3 is acting what? F3 is acting perpendicular but in downward direction. So what is the general equation of deflecting force? In the third lesson you might have studied. In general, the equation of deflecting force is equation of deflecting force. That is force acting on a current carrying conductor placed inside a uniform magnetic field. That force we are calling it out as the deflecting force. F of D is equal to, or F of D vector is equal to IL vector, current element in the conductor, multiplied with the magnetic field or cross multiplied with the magnetic field. IL vector cross B vector. So F1 value, F2 value and F3 values are equal to be IL vector cross B vector. When you are looking at this diagram, the magnitude of F2 and F3 and F1 are equal, but the direction differs. From the diagram, it is very clear that, see, from figure or from diagram, it is very clear that F2 and F3 are in opposite direction. F2 and F3 are acting on the segment in opposite direction. But they are of equal magnitude. They are of equal magnitude. So how you can say the deflecting force F2 and F3, which are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, they cancel each other. So they cancel each other. So there is no deflecting force on the side PQ and RS, because one of the deflecting force is equal and opposite to that of the other deflecting force on the other side. They are cancelling each other. So the deflecting force acting on that segment QR is F1, which is opposite to what? Which is opposite to that of the mechanical force that is acting on it. So let us calculate what is the value of F1 now. Therefore, F1 alone acts on the loop. F1 alone acts on the loop. That is, the deflecting force acting on the loop is F1 alone. Therefore, what is F1 vector? F1 vector is given by the formula IL vector cross B vector. Here we are representing I as small I. So IL vector cross B vector. You take the magnitude F1. Magnitude of F1 vector is modulus of B vector, modulus of IL vector into what? Sin theta. Because we can say, what we are saying, IL vector, sorry, we are saying that it is the magnitude of the cross product. Here we can say this IL vector, which is acting in the plane, and magnetic field B vector, which is acting perpendicular and inwards. So IL vector and B vector are perpendicular. So theta becomes 90. Since theta becomes 90, sin theta is equal to 1. Take this and substitute in this equation. What you will able to get? Therefore, I can get F1 is equal to B into I into L. Take this as equation number 2. Now, when both are equal, which one? F1 acting, that is the deflecting force acting on the loop, and the mechanical force that are acting on the loop are equal, then the body will be at rest. So we can say, therefore, the applied force is equal to the applied force. What is that applied force? It is F. is equal to, it should be equal to or greater than this deflecting force. Then only the body can move. If it is in equilibrium, both should be equal. So deflecting force F of D should be equal so that the loop is at equilibrium or at rest. The loop is at equilibrium. So what is the applied force and what is the deflecting force? We can say F is equal to, deflecting force is F1, but acting in what direction? But acting in opposite side direction. So I am writing F is equal to minus of F1. Let us consider just the magnitude alone. You consider the magnitude, what will be the answer? So I am saying considering the magnitude alone or considering the magnitude, I can write the applied force F equal to the deflecting force F1. Therefore, F equal to, what is F1? F1 we have calculated as B into I into L. So let us take this as equation number 3. Now you substitute for I from the previous case. We know that I is equal to, where we have studied, when we are studying the motional EMF from Faraday's law or from Lorentz force, we have developed this current I is equal to EMF divided by resistance, which is equal to EMF is B into L into V divided by R. So we know that. Substitute this in equation 3. Substitute this value for I, this value of I in the above equation 3. What you will be able to get is just to substitute this. Now what is the answer? Therefore, what will be F? Therefore, F will be equal to B into this I, B into L into V divided by R, multiply it with L. So F will be equal to, multiply, we will be getting B square, L square, V divided by R. Let us take this as equation number 4. See, already in the equation 1, we have a defined power. See, power is defined as, or power is written in equation 1. In equation 1 as power P equal to, what is that power? Power P is equal to F vector dot V vector, which we have written it as F into V. So substitute for F from this equation 4. Okay, substitute for F from this equation 4. Let us write substituting for F in equation 4. What you can able to get? The power available P equal to, what is F? Here I have written from 4, B square L square into V divided by R multiplied with V. So what is the answer for power? B square L square V square divided by R. Let us rewrite the equation for this power. What is power? So power is equal to B square L square V square divided by R. This we have calculated the power by doing an mechanical work. So this is 5. So power obtained, okay, this is power obtained due to mechanical work, due to mechanical work or mechanical work done. See, we have to prove the law of conservation of energy. What happens? This mechanical work done develops an current inside the loop. That current developed in turn produces heat energy. That heat energy is dissipated. Now we have to calculate the heat energy. If the value of the heat energy, and that is the power of the heat energy, as well as the power done by the mechanical force, if both are equal, energy is considered to be conserved. So how you can able to calculate the heat energy dissipated in unit time, that is power. So let us consider the next concept. When the induced current flows, because due to the change in the area, current is produced, motional current or motional EMF is developed. Because of that EMF, current is passing through. So we can say when induced current flows in the loop, induced current flows in the loop, then according to Joule law of heating, according to Joule law of heating, the rate of thermal energy dissipated from power, the rate of thermal or heat energy given out or dissipated out, dissipated out is given by P is equal to heat energy, here heat energy divided by time, rate of emission of the heat energy is given by the formula I square into R into T. So this is the formula given by Joule. So power P is equal to, what is I? I we have stated it as BLV divided by R, the whole square, multiplied it with what? Sorry, not I square R into T, T divide pannitom. So it is I square into R. Heat energy is I square R into T, power is I square into R, multiplied it with R. So simplify, you will be getting B square, L square, V square divided by R square into R. On simplifying, the power dissipated is what? The power dissipated is B square, L square, V square divided by what? Divided by R. So let us consider this as equation number 6. From equation 5 and equation 6, we can see both equations are same. So energy is considered to be conserved, which indicates that mechanical energy converted into electrical energy given out or dissipated out in the form of heat energy. So what conclusion I can write? So I can write from equation 5 and from equation 6, it is clear that the mechanical energy, or we can say work done in moving, mechanical energy or work done in moving the loop, is appearing as thermal energy or heat energy, thermal, or we can say heat, thermal energy or heat energy in the loop, and both the equations are equal. Hence, energy is conserved. A long question which can be asked for 5-mark question. Both motional EMF and the law conservation of energy combined together may be asked for 5-mark question. While studying this, you take your notebook and you just try to work it out along with me, and then you take your notebook and study. It will be easier for you to understand as well as to study. Once you work it out in your notebook along with me, whenever I am writing or whenever I am explaining, you also write it in your notebook and derive it out. It will be easier for you to understand and also to learn. Once you write, it is equal to studying for 100 times. So once you are writing, by the end of writing each and every derivation, you can able to understand and you can able to write it again without seeing your book or notebook. Hope you should have understood this. Let us see in the next video. Till then, goodbye from Ravi Shankar.